She Rose, it's Kenya here. I just wanted to do this quick video about a topic that I've been hearing a lot about and it's been bothering me quite a bit. So I just wanted to just, put the conversation in here and if it helps somebody, great. And if someone else has some insight on this that, might help me get my head wrapped around this, then we can have a conversation about it. There's something that has been going around, some advice that has been going around, and it's this concept that having a website is dead. Like websites are dead, and you don't need a website for your business. You can just use this. Social media is the way to go to grow your business now. So don't even waste your time and money in a website. And I would have to beg to differ. Um, I think that this advice can be dangerous, um, especially if you are a new or even an emerging entrepreneur. And the reason is because as a new or an emerging entrepreneur, there's so many different options out there, and it's easy to try to find a way to cut a corner because of all the overwhelm. And so it would be very tempting to say, oh well, I don't need a website because this person said that this is the way to go and this is the new trend of the future. And the reason why I think that that is wrong advice, well, let me just preference let me just say this, before I get into all of that. It is possible to grow your business without a website. It's possible to generate business without a website. So let's just get that out of the way right now. Like, you can grow your business, you can generate sales without a website. Okay. Um, but as an online business manager, I like to look at the big picture. Now, for some people, not having a website may work. It really just kind of depends on your strategy. But I will say this, that ultimately, especially if you're a speaker, author, or coach, and you're in that arena, the social media jungle is very crowded and it's very noisy. All right. And you can be on there saying some really fabulous stuff, but our attention spans on social media is like ADD. Like, a lot of times I know I'm on there and I'm like, oh, this person, I'm liking this, and oh, that sounds great. And somebody else says something and that sounds great. And, and if I'm really caught up in the moment, I might, you know, jet over to somebody's website and try to see what else they have to say if I'm really, really engaged about what you're saying. But it's really an ADD thing. And what you want to do, in my opinion, with social media is capture that energy, is to capture that traffic and bring it back home, bring it back to a place where you can guide them into more help and more assistance by way of either getting on your list so you can communicate and add more value, or getting them to your site so they can see how they can take whatever experience they're getting from you on social media and getting them to buy or subscribe from you. Um, so your website is important because, number one, we don't have control over the social networks, right? We don't know if Facebook, you can't see it happening, but you just never know. We don't know if Facebook is gonna like get bought out by somebody. We don't know if Twitter is gonna get bought out by somebody. We don't know if it's gonna be like a MySpace where something is hot for a length of time and then it just fizzles out. And so if something happens or some rules change with these social media networks, and that is where your audience is, then your audience is your ability to be effective on those platforms is really up to the policies and the platform owners, right? So if you're using primarily a Facebook page to drive business, and for whatever reason Facebook decides, oh, we're going to do away with pages, we're going to do something else. And I've seen this happen when Facebook, to some degree, when Facebook was doing, they had, like, I don't know if some of you remember, they had FBML, and I might be showing my nerdy side here, but it was kind of like a form of HTML, and you could get in there and you could really trick out your Facebook pages and do whatever. You could put opt-in forms, you could build websites, you can do all this stuff. And then they did away with that, and they allowed you to use third-party like plugins to really add more interactivity and customization to your pages. And so people were, investing all of this money to get people to customize their page, their Facebook page with FBML coding and all of that fun stuff. And then when Facebook came and wiped it out, all of that went away. Like, you lost all of that. So, if you spent hundreds or even thousands of dollars getting people to set up your FBML page, then you lost a lot of money in that. And some of that just comes with the game that we're in. The online game, it changes really rapidly. So you have to expect some of that. But saying that you're not going to build a website because you're just going to use these social platforms, I think long term, as a long term strategy, is not that smart. Especially because if you're a speaker, author, or coach, you're a one woman show, one person show a lot of times. At least you start off at some point being that. And you want to use the technology that's available to you to leverage your time, or to in some ways clone yourself, so that if you're out here doing speaking gigs, if you're out here doing periscoping, if you're out here doing these different things, that you can direct them to your website, and there are things there that can get them into your funnel, that can get them into your flow, and that can generate cash flow for you without you having to be the one to close the sale. All right. They can come through ads and all of that stuff. So it's important to have a home for people to connect and stay connected with you. Now, some may argue you can use pay-per-click ads to do that. You can, just have landing pages, and all of that is great. But as a long-term strategy, and even if it's a landing page, I mean, that's somewhat of a site too. So having something that you own and that you control, traffic that you own and you can control, in my experience and opinion, is very important. So you want to be careful about listening to people who say, don't have a website, because it could be that the person saying that themselves, their website is just kind of like, they just haven't spent time or money in it, because for whatever reason they found a groove on social media, with their branding. They found their voice, they found their audience, and they're just in a groove, and they're able to generate business or what have you from that strategy. And what I always teach my clients, and this is something that I've learned for myself, is that it's important to look at your life and decide, okay, this is my life, this is the time that I'm working with, this is the resources that I'm working with, these are my strengths, these are my weaknesses. Is it a good idea? Is it something that would work for me to do things this way, or would some other strategy work better for me? So it's important to look at that, and not just look at it because some person who, in your eyes, from what you perceive, that is successful at what they're doing, is telling you do this too. If it doesn't align with who you are, if it doesn't align with your life, what's happening, your circumstances, with your resources, with your strengths, with what you want to do, with what you don't want to do, then you're just getting caught up in that web of confusion and crazy that really kind of captures a lot of online business owners, and keeps them stuck or knocks them out of the game altogether. So I just wanted to kind of touch on that topic. If you are somebody who's heard that, I would caution you not to really accept that, or to just consider, like, okay, both sides of the coin, because it's very subjective. It's really going to depend on what is important to you. Like, I can tell you, for me, it's just not plausible for me to say that I don't need a website and I'm just going to get all my clients on social media, because that would mean that I would have to spend a whole lot of time on social media, doing and saying stuff all day long, every day, to try to get people to do something. And I just don't have that kind of time, nor do I want to be that attached to my smartphone or computer. Like if I want to just chill, if I want to go to the park with my kids, if I want to do something like that, I want to be able to do it and not feel like, I'm not going to make money this month because I wasn't tweeting enough. You know what I'm saying? So that is just something that I wanted to just drop out there and for you to consider as you start to figure out, different strategies or think about different strategies for growing your business. Um, it's not easy, you know. It takes diligence, and I don't care what anybody tells you. There's no easy button to this, but you can be successful if you're smart and if you make smart decisions with your time, if you make smart decisions with your money, it can go a long way into creating not only some success, like here and there success, but sustainable success for the long term. So I will leave you. It's 10 minutes now, and I'm not gonna, hold you any longer. But I just wanted to touch on that and kind of look for me to start talking about this topic a little bit more because it's really been out there a lot, and it was like, oh, I gotta say something about this. So anyway, love you all and hope you have a wonderful rest of the week.